Substack versus Mailchimp. Only what you really need to understand.
Alright, so first of all, let me just tell you very quick how this is completely different from all of the other reviews. Basically, vast majority, all of the reviews really tell you all of the different features of the softwares, but they just give you a list and that's it. And at the end, you are still confused because you don't really know what actually is the best for your specific needs. Whereas what I try to do with my reviews is I don't tell you about all of the different features. I tell you only specific features that you actually need to know to make a decision. And I tell you what tool is best for your specific case because it's always dependent. So I don't waste your time. I tell you only what you really need to know. I put in a lot of work and effort, me and my team, trying to figure this stuff out. And also I have discounts and bonuses for all of the different tools that I talk about, so check all of the links. By the way, I created a blueprint for the best business model out there, so check the description. Okay, so we will start out with some marketing features because when it comes to newsletters, marketing is one of the main priorities. So first of all, we have referral program. So this is within your newsletter, you can have a section that you give out something in exchange for a referral. Let's say like if people refer 3 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 10 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 100 people, you're going to give them something, whether it's some digital freebie, coaching session, some physical good, whatever it is. There's a lot of cases of newsletter softwares growing crazy using this exact thing. So it can be very, very beneficial. So Substack doesn't have this and you can't integrate other tool. With Mailchimp, you can use this using third-party software. Next, super important marketing feature is the recommendation network. And what this means is basically, let's say someone subscribes to your newsletter and then you have this pop-up that shows other newsletters that they might be interested in. So you're kind of exchanging this newsletter subscriber, whatever you want to call it. It can be a very powerful way of growing your list as well, because you don't really need to do anything. You just need to find someone to have these recommendations exchanges with. Substack has this within the software. Mailchimp doesn't have this and no other app. So I will have a link for this whole doc and I will keep on updating it and adding some additional information, and I have discounts for all of these tools and bonuses, so check out the description. By the way, I have made a video comparing all of the best newsletter software, so I will link that below. Next, let's talk monetization, and first of all, sponsored posts. So these are called different on different platforms, but basically what this means is that within your newsletter, you can ask people to subscribe to other newsletters and you actually get paid for that, usually somewhere between from as little as $1 to as much as maybe $5 if people just subscribe to a different newsletter. Substack doesn't have this. Mailchimp doesn't have this. By the way, I have created a document of 50 best growth hacks used by the biggest marketers out there. Check the link below. Next, we have ad network. This is again part of monetization strategy, and ad network basically just means that the software allows you to find ads automatically being placed on your newsletters, so they save you a lot of time. Do keep in mind that you will need to pay usually 20% fee for that, and even if they don't have ad network, you can go out and find ads yourself, or there are specific tools that allow you to do it, and you'll just pay fees for those tools. I will leave all of the links for all of the additional tools that I mentioned, by the way, as well. Substack doesn't have an ad network, but you can use other tools. Mailchimp doesn't have ad network, but you can use some other tools. The next point for monetization as well is digital products, and this is honestly, you can make a lot of money through sponsored posts and ad network. However, if you really want to level up to you the next level and make a lot of money from your newsletter, then digital products is the way to go. This is where you can really make a lot of money. And I have, by the way, a whole channel dedicated on just building a digital product business, so I will leave all of the links. Check that out. Substack doesn't have any functionality to sell digital products. Mailchimp allows you to sell digital products, and they do have fairly good features when it comes to that. Now, the next thing is, again, monetization, and we're talking subscriptions. So technically this is a digital product as well, but I put it separately because this is just one digital product that some softwares allow you, whereas with digital products, there's so many different products that you can be selling. Substack allows you to have paid subscriptions. Mailchimp allows you to have paid subscriptions. Now, the next step is design. And when it comes to design, this is basically how exactly you can design your actual newsletter, and also when it comes to your opt-in pages, forms, landing pages, all of those kind of things. Substack is honestly only 4 out of 10. They really are just very plain and boring, and they have very few tools, so I really don't like the design of Substack newsletters at all. Mailchimp is a 9 out of 10. They have most of the functionality that you will need. Now, next thing we got is integrations, and why this is important is basically because if you're using other tools, so for example, let's say you are running a store on Shopify, or you're running your website on WordPress, or you just want to use specific tools for your conversions, for running ads, let's say, whatever it really is, you will need to have integrations, especially if you want to build a really big business. Substack doesn't have any integrations, honestly. It's 0 out of 10. If you'll need any integration, then you're in a bad luck. Mailchimp is great when it comes to integrations. I would say it is a 9 out of 10. Now, the next really important thing is automations, and this is important for basically your conversions. So if you are running a business, you are doing certain offers that you are promoting, whether it's digital products, affiliate, whatever it is, you want to set up certain automations that will just help you to make money on autopilot. I can't emphasize how important that is and how much easier it's going to make your life. Substack doesn't have any automation, so it's completely 0 out of 10. Mailchimp has a good amount of automations. I will say some of the other softwares have a little bit more. I will give it an 8 out of 10 because it's just lacking a couple of basic triggers and basic automation steps. Next, we have user experience, and one of the things is the ease of use, how easy, just how simple it is to use the software. Substack, well, it's just very basic software, so honestly the ease of use is a 9 out of 10 because you have so very few features to really work with. Mailchimp, ease of use, I would say is around 8 out of 10. It's not horrible, but there is definitely some place for improvement. It's not as simple as something, let's say, MailerLite. So when it comes to pricing, I will say that when it comes to Substack, Substack doesn't really have like a pricing page per se. They only have this page here where they show you that what they charge is just 10% for each transaction. So it's free to start out with. You can run your newsletter for free. However, you will pay 10%. So that can add up quite a lot. If you're making $1,000, which is, not that much, you're going to be paying $100. So when you compare it to all of the other newsletter softwares, it really is the most expensive actually. When it comes to Mailchimp, they have a few different plans. So they have the completely free plan. However, the completely free plan, honestly, it offers so very few features. I'm not a huge fan at all of it. And then they have Essentials, Standard, and they have Premium. And basically, I would say there isn't that much of a difference when it comes to these plans. One thing you just need to keep in mind is that on these plans, you can only send 12, well, it depends on the plan, but basically on the essential plan, you can send 10 times the emails to your contact list. So let's say if you have 10,000 contacts, you can send out 100,000 emails, so 10 emails per month. On their medium plan, it's 12. So if you take this plan, for example, what that means is you can send out 3 emails per week, and that might seem like quite okay, but when you think about it, if you're getting someone in to sign up for your email, then you are going to be sending out those first couple initial emails of onboarding. So that adds up quite a bit. And then basically if you have a newsletter once or twice, and then you have some upsells, it becomes a little bit limiting. I really don't like the part. I feel like it's a little bit tricky that they're charging or limiting you on how many emails you can really send. And if you'll want more than that, you'll need to go with the premium plan, and as you can see, the premium plan is kind of crazy expensive. So in general, for 10,000 subscribers, the essentials is $82 a month, the standard is 101, and the premium is 262. And it doesn't seem maybe that expensive per se, but then again, when I compare all of the different features that you get compared to other tools, I honestly think that it's very overpriced. You don't really get as much as you do with other tools. So I rather, because it's not even like that cheaper, if you compare it to some other options, it's kind of like medium price. So I rather either go for a cheaper solution that actually provides me more, or I go with a more expensive solution and rather pay extra $10 and just get a bunch more stuff. Alright, so now let's talk overall what is the best use case, why you should use certain software based on your specific needs. This is probably the most important part. When it comes to Substack is interesting because it's free to start, but then you pay 10% fee. So when you actually start making money, it's really expensive. When it comes to features, it's so simplistic and it's really lacking most of the things, most of the monetization options, no automations, customization, basically nothing. The only reason I think why people use Substack is because they see that as, okay, this is free to start out with, there are a couple of growth options with it, and it's just a popular tool. I think that's the only reason. Other than that, I honestly just in general don't recommend it. When it comes to MailChimp, honestly, I'm not a fan of MailChimp. I don't recommend it. It's lacking a lot of main features, a lot of like automation things. When it comes to newsletter growth, it doesn't really have any of the functionality, and also it's just overpriced. You pay way too much. You pay more than other softwares that are providing way more to you. I think it's just an old software that has been out there for a while, and that's why you're overpaying.